Okay, and we're we're back together again for our third session on our Rightsizing and Moving series, just answering more and more of your questions about this process. How does it work and how much help can I expect? So we're on to the part 3. We're talking about the move itself. So we talked about approaching the move and how to deal with it emotionally. We talked about the auction portion of the service and how do we get rid of all the things that we're not bringing. But when it comes down to it, you get to move into Westminster Village, enjoy life here. But how do we physically make that happen? Well, we go to John at Caring Transitions again. And we work together with John and with Sarah, our move-in coordinator, who both to work together to help you get moved in and settled into your new place here so that you can start enjoying life. There's kind of a 3-step process with your packing day, your moving, your consultation first, then your packing day and your moving day, and you get settled in and oriented with Sarah. So I'm gonna stop my screen share here and let everybody in on the conversation. And welcome back, everybody. Rebecca's here with us again, and Sarah, our move-in coordinator, and John from Caring Transitions. John, do you want to just walk us through the 3-step process and let us know how you help people?
Yes, I like to break it up in those segments because to pack and move and unpack all in one day, I think is just too tiring for anyone, including me. And I think it's more organized and it helps people choose what they want to pack, and it's not as rushed. So we'll come in the day before, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the day before, really anytime before the move, and we get their things packed that they don't need. I wouldn't want to pack someone's toaster when they're going to make toast in the morning, but things that they're not going to need right away, we get them packed up and get them all ready to go. And then when moving day comes, it's ready, and we get it loaded up. And then I like to pack things if they're going to come, and I like to pack maybe their favorite chair or their bedroom suit so we can unload it first and they have a place to rest while we finish unpacking and getting them settled in. Another option is if they want to go visiting, maybe go to the movies or out to eat, is a perfect time for us to come in and unpack and get their furniture where they need it and do the follow their space planning. And then when they get back from lunch, we have it all ready for them. So I think that was pretty, I said that a lot of stuff in that, but that's the way we like to do it.
I know one question I've gotten is when you do the packing, how do you label are they boxes? Do you use tubs? How do you make sure things go where they're supposed to go?
I like to use boxes. They're easy to stack. They're easy to break down and remove. We label them so we know what room they came from, what room they're going to. Totes and things like that are fine. I just like to be able to stack things so when we move them, it doesn't take up as much room.
Do you take a picture of their room so that maybe you put it back together the way that they had it before, or how does that work?
Yes, like their favorite cabinet with their pictures and knickknacks, we take a picture of it and we try to put it back as close as possible the way it was, just so that it's something familiar for them, and it just looks better that way.
How long does a typical packing take?
Usually 4 to 6 hours, sometimes a little longer. It depends on how much they are taking and things like that.
So that would be for the whole household?
Yes.
4 to 6 hours.
Yep.
And
a team in.
How many people are usually in your average team?
2 to 4.
Okay.
Depending on how much we got to pack.
Okay. And then how much does it cost? How much is a move? Or how does that work?
It just depends on, everybody's different. So each move is really tailored to how much they're bringing and what we're moving. And so typically it's going to cost probably $1,000 to $1,800, just depending on how much they have to move, how long we think it's going to take.
And when you say that price, what would that include? Was that like with you packing and you moving and you unpacking?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Packing, unpacking, hanging their favorite pictures and things like that. we
That's awesome.
we can hang their TV. We can pretty much put everything back the way it was when it was at their house.
And you mentioned earlier about bringing their favorite chair on moving day, you know, maybe putting that first so they could rest while you finish. And that's important for people to remember also, is to take care of yourself on moving day. A lot of people that I meet with, I'll ask them, you know, when they get here, have you drank any water today, or have you had breakfast or lunch? And they'll say, no, I completely forgot, because they're just kind of in the moment. But that's something that on, you know, this end that we have ready for you. We'll see, you know, if you're coming super early, we can have breakfast ready and at your home waiting on you. We have fabulous cinnamon rolls. I'll just say that. But then also, you know, if you have lunch and maybe you have your daughter's going to come with you, you know, the day you move and kind of help you, we can have lunch for her as well. So it's really good too, John. And I think people would appreciate that more than they probably would even know at this point, you know, of having that comfort. And I'm really impressed that you have that thought, you know, forethought to think about that.
Well, I think my nursing background helps a little bit, and especially with the seniors. And I know if they have because we've packed them, I know if they have Ensures and things like that in the refrigerator. So I'll stop and say, do you need to drink one of your Ensures? Do you need some water? Do you need the rest? So
yeah,
the nursing background helps.
I think you live up to the name of caring transition.
Yeah.
You certainly care.
Exactly.
That, John, do you you have probably some knowledge too about safety awareness as you're placing furniture? Does that come into play?
Yes. You know, especially if they're using a walker or a wheelchair, we want to make sure we have good pathways and no rugs that people can trip on and things like that.
Now, John, when you're doing the packing and whatnot, is there anything in particular you would suggest that the client pack themselves?
A lot of people like to pack, and I think everybody's anxious and nervous, and so it does give them something to do to start packing things that they want to bring. So I never tell people not to pack things if they want to. I just like them so that we can stack it and put it away safely. That's all I ask.
And some of the things, just from me working with new residents that are coming in, you know, I remind them things that they want to, kind of like when you fly, things you want to keep with you. So maybe like your medications or important, you know, documents and stuff, so they don't get lost in translation, so to speak, and you have those things with you.
Yes, especially the medications. I like for them to keep those with them.
Mm-hmm.
So, so it kind of, if they're following us, they take their medication bag, or maybe like their personal hygiene things that they want or going to need, so that they have it with them.
Is there anything that you can't move? One thing that comes to mind, and we've had residents move before, pianos, or even, you know, or even like large. Is that something that you can move, or do you recommend that they hire a professional or a specific professional for that?
I don't mind moving the spinet pianos, the smaller ones, a grand piano, and I'm going to outsource that and hire somebody to do that for me. But other than that grand piano, I've moved giant safes, and we've moved a little bit of everything. So.
What about dressers? So I know those are really heavy. Should people empty their drawers first, or do you move the whole thing? Do you pull the drawers out? How's that process?
If we're moving them from ground floor to ground floor, then I tell them just to leave their things in the drawers, unless it's like loose jewelry or things like that. And I like those to be packed or in baggies. But ground floor to ground floor and just a normal dresser, I tell them to leave things in there. We wrap them with saran wrap to keep them safe and keep them from getting scratched and from the drawers opening. And we move them just like that. If I've seen some giant armoires and dressers, and if it's upstairs, then I like to take the drawers out and wrap them separately and move them separately. It just makes it lighter and safer for everyone.
What should somebody expect on packing and unpacking day?
Well, come in, so it's usually always a lot of people. Takes a little bit to get organized, and then once we get organized, we'll set up a little packing area in the kitchen, and then especially after we know what they want to take and we've got a good sense of what they want to take, then it goes pretty quick after that.
And
Do they typically, for instance, like a client, do they say, okay, I want this and I want this, and you move that way, or have you already kind of decided that?
Usually on packing, we've already decided to a certain point, but on packing day, we'll still make sure that we get everything they want to pack.
Good.
Because that's partly of what you talk about with them, with the space planning and things with the consultation, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And you have all of our floor plans, so that's good that you can access those.
Yes.
John, what's your favorite part about the moving process?
I think my favorite part is when we get the last box unpacked and everything's settled, and you see people just kind of looking around their room and where they're like, okay, I think I'm going to like this, and I know I'm going to enjoy this place. I think that's my favorite part.
I like that too.
Did I unmute myself? By the time they finally see, their bed covered, and it has their quilt on and their pillows again, and they have their blankets in place, and and maybe even a couple of pictures or art put up on the wall. I could see that that would be gratifying at that point when you say, see, I told you we could do it.
Right.
And then to see it done, that's, yeah.
I kind of liken it to my days of rehab nursing, when we got a stroke person that was like, I'm never going to be able to go home. I'm not going to get better on a day of discharge. That's what it kind of reminds me of when we get them all settled in and that look of relief and comfort.
That's amazing.
You met the goal at that point, and
exactly.
which really is the goal. We have to sometimes remember to stay focused on that, throughout this process, and not try to get overwhelmed by the big picture, but focus on the goal, which is getting, moved into your new home and your new lifestyle at Westminster Village, and being able to then enjoy that, and turn that page, starting a new chapter, in your life, and definitely seek the help of the professionals on the hurdles, like the downsizing and the moving process and all of that, because that's what you all are there for. I mean,
yeah.
We were explaining to a couple the other day that, who would have thought, right? There's just an industry, a whole niche that is just moving seniors, from place to place, and you specialize in it for a reason, and that's because you provide the extra customer service and have the extra patience, and you understand their side of things, and you know where they're coming from, moving from a house they lived in for 50 years or more, and what an emotional toll that can take. And so because you understand that, that's why you have your special niche and your special business, and that's why Westminster partners with Caring Transitions as well.
We appreciate the above and beyond mentality that you guys have.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Sarah, is there anything that you feel like we forgot to let people know about the consult packing and moving days? And
well, I think also too, just, you know, as a moving coordinator at Westminster Village, part of what I do is, you know, I'm with you from the moment after you meet with Kate and Rebecca. Then I spend time with you and, you know, help you design your new home, or help you space plan in your new home, or or if you have questions, you know, of resources, different questions you may have, I'm there to help with that. And also, you know, just like today, I went out to a new resident that is moving in with John, and he and I kind of work together as a team, just so we can make sure that that transition does go, you know, as it's supposed to, and that there aren't any surprises on moving day. And even if there are, you know, we're just willing to accept that and keep moving. Like Kate said, just take it and go and take that next step. So yeah, I just think it's good. Different things, and especially because this is like an election year, we have voter registrations here, you know, and I can help you or give you information of like change of address and things like that. So just general information. I have a resident handbook that we give to new residents that are moving in, and it has a lot of that information in there as far as just kind of generalized information for the community.
adjusting to the new life.
Yes.
And how about you, John? Is there something that I failed to mention or that we failed to ask you about with regard to the consult, the packing and moving days that people should be aware of?
I don't think so. I like what Sarah said. You have to stay flexible and be ready to take care of what shows up and for those surprises. And I always tell people, you and Sarah are the busiest people I know when they're talking about you guys. So
Yeah.
We have been.
Yes, we have.
People are still moving.
I know.
Yes, they are.
Says a lot about people, though, that they realize the importance that community is, you know, at Westminster Village. I think so many people that have recently moved in especially have expressed that part of why they chose now to move is because of the community aspect and things that they didn't realize before, kind of exaggerate it down during this special time.
Special.
Rebecca, is there anything else that you wanted to ask or make point of before we wrap up our third and final session?
I don't think so. I just look forward to hearing from everybody, especially since we have that special incentive going on until the end of the year. Just a friendly reminder, you know, Westminster Village is going to pay for your move to get here at the community. You know, we really want you here and we truly do care. So please let us know. We're here for you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you really do have a team on your side. So, and the four of us are part of that, a small part of it. You know, there are more here too, but yes, you have people to help you and professionals to help you. So let us know what questions you have, and we can connect you directly with John when you're ready to set up a consultation. And thank you very much for watching all three sessions on downsizing and moving process. And we look forward to welcoming you to Westminster Village very soon.
Bye, everyone.
thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.